Now let's talk about your personal life.
Well, they put it was asked.
So remember to subscribe, to like the videos, hit the thumbs ups, hit the notification bell buttons so you can get notified, and share and comment. That way we can reach to more people. We can have our voice to be heard. It's just very important to have our stories to be heard, especially these days, right? Cast crew from the community, LGBTQ community. So as you part of the gay community, you want to share? We're gonna because we had a call, phone call just a couple of days ago, and I think it's a good topic for a podcast. So you because I know gay community has come a long way, and the society has more acceptance compared to trans community right now, or even lesbians. So how's your dating life scene as a gay person right now?
Well, if it's just right now, I mean, it's really no different than how it started because it's still a mess. It always was a mess. And I do have to say, of course, you can never be sure because I was never on the other side. I wasn't straight at any point.
Mm,
I would just say that since the beginning, since I started dating until now, it's always been a mess for me, and I think it does have to do with my sexual orientation.
mm,
Because in my opinion, I think it's so much easier if you're heterosexual because if you see the opposite sex, let's say they're walking on the street and they're attracted to you, and you want to get to know them, or whatever, and you say hi and you start talking. They won't get the wrong idea if the opposite sex. But if it's the same sex, if it's a
yeah.
man to a man or a woman to another woman, they're like, "Oh, I'm not gay," or it's like you don't have that certainty that they are. Especially now that there's a lot of gay men that are masculine. I think that
Yeah.
stereotype has changed a lot because back then it seems like more gay men were more feminine, at least in my opinion, from what I've seen.
Mm,
And now much more men are coming out that is like being more accepted that you said, and it's like all these men that are like that look totally straight. You wouldn't expect them to be gay at all. Like they're gay too, and it's like so now it's even I think trickier to
uh-huh.
find a man was then because you can't be sure they're gay or not because it's like every type of man seems gay now. So that alone was difficult for me to find a date. Or to find anyone. So I ended up developing a bad habit of trying to date online, which is even
Mm,
worse because
okay.
you can print see anybody online and they say who they are, and a lot of bad things can happen, and it can also be a very dangerous
Yeah.
um a
So
dangerous
so in
thing.
your dating, so on your personal dating experience, do you prefer online or in person right now at this
At
moment?
this point, I wish it could be in person because it's just been online. I mean, it's always been online for me because I never had that luck of meeting anyone outdoors,
Mm,
just by surprise in person. Generally, it's just I never had that luck.
yeah.
So I always was resorted limited to online. So that's all I know, and so I'm
Mm.
growing. Honest, I'm growing sort of tired of that. So I wish it could be.
So you prefer dating in person now, right?
I
And
wish, I wish it. I'm not doing it, but I wish it would be that way. Yeah.
oh, so if you let's say if you were dating online, which platform or apps would you go on?
Well, of course, granted, 'cause that's the most popular one, so that's the first place you would
Yeah.
look. I mean, I have friends tell me about other ones like Adam for Adam or Gruff or other ones, but they don't seem as active and they're not as popular. So,
Mhm.
and from my experience, I don't see any difference because they're claiming that supposedly more decent men are on there, but yet I see the same faces on there that are on Grinder. So,
Um,
I don't think it's any different. Yeah.
yeah, because
So
I
I
personally I never been on Grinder, so I don't know. So is there a lot of trans people on Grinder too?
There is surprisingly. There wasn't before. I've been on and off for Grinder for like what, eight
Mm-hmm.
and a half years now. And probably like half of that time, there wasn't a lot of transgenders on there, and I
Mhm.
noticed like increasingly, like the past maybe 3 years at least, it's been major. Not only has there been a major increase in trans um, men or women, either way. But there's a lot of awareness of men actually being attracted or wanting to hook up with a trans on there. So
Are they, but are they sexually identify themselves as gay men or
that's the part where, yeah, this will make a good topic for next episode. 'Cause there's probably a lot to talk about. I could probably take up a whole episode. A lot of the men on this seem pretty close to what the purpose is. They still consider themselves straight or bi.
oh
So they want to hook up with a transgender man or woman. It doesn't matter to them. Yet they consider themselves bi or straight, which I or not gay at all. So that, I still find that quite bizarre. That's the one issue that I have with that, or
yeah,
what I
well
see.
my personal experience is I think because I came across a lot of mainstream people and I think from my perspective I think they mixed up with sexuality and gender identity because to me, because I identify myself as a woman, but a lot of people don't realize that a trans woman can be sexually attracted to men or women or trans men or all. You know what I mean? So, but then let's say if a just a man who's found me attracted, I think they are especially the mainstream one, they are very afraid of going forward. Like there's a barrier they don't cross because I think they're afraid that people might say, might start saying, might start thinking they're gay and they don't want to.
Right,
But
right.
but
Problem with that, because why are they so concerned about that? They don't have a problem with it. They wouldn't be concerned. So there's an issue there definitely with themselves. Yeah,
society, I think, is another thing, right?
that's another thing, right? But the thing is that you shouldn't care about society. You know, it's your life.
Um,
You want, especially
yes,
nowadays, be more accepting. It's like, who cares? They're gonna like it. Some are gonna like it. Some are not gonna like it. But at least more people are more willing to accept it now. So why not just,
yeah.
you know?
So from my personal experience, the guys who already been through all that internal struggle of themselves, they already overcame that barrier. And but the problem is, let's say in
All those things.
as a transgender community as a whole, we have how do you say we have more trans women who attracted to men, way more racial than men in the community. The men. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
because and most of them are older generations. Because, like I said, I guess older people they already experience it all, so they don't,
They want to try something
excuse
new.
me, my
Yeah.
language, they don't give a shit. So, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it makes sense. It makes total sense. I agree.
Yeah. So, but when I started dating outside of the community, the mainstream guys, they are more like you said, curious in a sense. Or now I heard they say they call more fetish, which I'm not interested in that. Curious is okay, meaning they're maybe exploring, but the
But
fetish,
curious, that's the part I'm confused. Curious can sort of mean fetish, though, no? Because it's, well, yes and no.
yeah.
Because curious, like you don't know about it yet, but you want to know, and a fetish means that you're already familiar with it, but it's still like something that you would just do like in bed, not like something in general. You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
So
It's,
I
I
think
don't
I don't know. To me, fetish is more porn-ish,
I you
and
could say that. You could,
and
yeah.
and
But I don't,
bi curious, just like the movie we have, LGBT love story. You mentioned Jack's character is more he just exploring, find out what's going on to about himself. Yeah. So I think fetish is more pornish. They don't really care. It's more like, you know,
Depending
one
on
time
what it
thing.
could be, that could not. I think that's something that depends on how one thinks
Does,
about that. One needs to be open minded about. It could be
does
pornish. Some
that does that happen to gay community? You have some people are more fetish and more curious, or they just start coming out.
yeah, of course. I think all elements of the LGBTQ community is has their own fetishes. Like, for example, when it comes to the transgender community, it seems to be more the bisexuals that have that fetish for trans. Where
Mhm.
gay men, in my experience, were more into more cock size and big. So and then lesbians, like, well, I don't know, I'm not a lesbian, but I assume it would be something about the vagina or boobs. I don't
I don't
know.
know.
Yeah, so I think every element corresponds to each element of the LGBTQ community. That definitely makes sense. So I would say yes, especially in my experience with the gay community. There definitely is a different fetish with gay community than transgender or bisexual.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, I found this just my personal experience. I found out um I never attracted to people who sexually identify themselves as gay. I never attracted to them, or vice
yeah.
versa. Yeah, I don't know. It's just my personal experience.
In my
So
opinion, yeah, it makes sense though because it's like if you're transgender a woman,
yeah,
if you
woman.
want a man that wants a woman, even though it might be a transgender woman, still it's a woman nonetheless. So it's like but I do understand the barrier there that it would be hard to cross with the fall for a gay guy because he would be into a transgender man or a man or a
So do you
genuine
think
man. Yeah.
maybe how male is more visual person when they see things or or interested in certain things like even in cars, like objects, right? They're more visual.
That's definitely a stereotype because
So,
I can tell you myself because I'm a gay man and I'm not interested in cars at all. I don't care for
no, but you know what I mean. Like men are visual. So if whoever see me just visually, they
I would
they probably
say
not gonna, let's say gay men probably won't find me attractive because I'm
it would definitely
I'm
it would definitely
girly girl. So
it depends. It depends. I think if you were still a transgender woman, but like a tomboyish transgender woman,
yeah,
maybe
maybe.
gay man would find you attractive. But since you're like a girly girl transgender type woman, then it would make sense for only like a bi-curious or a straight man to be attracted to you. But I'm not sure since I'm not transgender. I didn't experience that for myself. If you're open minded to that subject, it would make sense that it would turn
Yeah,
out that way. Yeah,
yeah.
definitely.
And if I'm more tomboyish, maybe lesbian girl or like tomboyish too.
Then probably like a gay man would be attracted to you.
Yeah.
Yeah, more likely.
So
Yeah.
my point is, like the mainstream world kind of mix sexuality and gender identity together.
Label.
Yeah,
Yes.
labels together.